It's all sorted, yeah. Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Because
all sorted
when
now.
it's interesting because it says it's 9 o'clock New York time now when I check it.
Yes. Yes, it's 9 p.m. New York
Oh,
time now, but you wrote me, let's meet at 9 a.m. Perth time. I said, okay, 9 a.m. Perth time is 9 p.m. New York time. I
got it,
forgot because of the clock change.
got it.
With the clock change, yeah.
Oh,
So
so
that's what
annoying. I don't
occurred.
know why they do it. Isn't it weird?
It's so funny. It's hilarious you mentioned that because I think it's a complete utter waste of time, pun totally intended. And so I was like, well, I suppose I'll get some exercise in. Then I was like, he probably took the dogs out for a wee. Then I was like, oh God, did something happen to Mark? And I kept logging in and out and in and out. And I'm like, is he ill? I'm like, so then I realized, so it said host has joined. And so I send you a whole slew of emails and I'm like, oh, right, right. Um, and then I researched it and found out from Google it can say host has joined even if the host is not there. And after a while, I was like, well, clearly Hayden's not there. So,
Exactly. I know it's bizarre because I thought I've got the time wrong because I was there. I sort of waited for about 10, 15. And I was like, oh, I've got it wrong. And then I checked on on Google and it went, oh, it's only 8 o'clock in New York. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. So, here I go again because I'm rubbish with time zones because I never
yeah.
factor in the daylight savings stuff. I always forget.
It-
So it's my biggest
yeah.
thing. Like you ask Mark, he always says that you're just useless with times and dates. I don't remember people's birthdays.
Hey, you know what, though? At least you get to work from home because when you used to work in corporate, that probably really screwed you over.
Oh
Like,
no, I
oh,
was always early. Like so
oh, you were?
because Mark's a timekeeper, we used to travel in on the train together.
Oh,
So I
yes.
would always get there about an hour early for work,
Yeah.
so that I never had any issues because,
Oh,
lucky.
perfect.
But if I'd been on my own, I probably would have been sacked with.
You're like, this gorgeous smile. You're not going to sack me. Come on now. Look at this hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
How could you sack this beautiful buffon?
precisely. All right. So I originally came in like, I don't want to have any intention. I just want to pick bottles and see what emerges. Then I was like, that's really hard to plan something on, winging it. I know it's
Mm,
like you can do it, but it makes it a lot more
yeah.
challenging. So I was like, I don't want to make it really troublesome for you. Then I was like, oh, I think I have a few ideas. Then all of a sudden you see my whole tw 12 that I said, I kind of have a feeling that you are going to find repetitive
Yeah.
questions just asked in different forms.
Yeah.
Um,
I did.
you know,
I really did,
yeah.
So, yeah. And it's interesting because it's great that
And
you had a chance to empty yourself out by exploring that within yourself. But what I've done is I've kind of decoded everything and then I've
I thought you
structured
would.
a
Brilliant.
whole heap of questions around what you've said, just to get you
Yeah.
thinking in a slightly different way. Because the feeling that
Mhm.
I'm getting with you right now, I think, you've come such a long way. I know you don't necessarily always think that you have, but where you're sort of tripping yourself up a lot is this sort of like discrepancy between what you feel like your higher self is guiding you to do and what your little niggly little naughty brain is trying to tell you to do.
Yeah.
So I think we need,
Mhm.
as part of the questioning, I want you to start responding from your gut, through, your generator archetype in human design, but it's designed really at helping you to trust your higher self guidance as opposed to the fear-based ego.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it was interesting because the last time, it's so funny back in October, I was like, this is the very last session with Haiti and Susie Woo for a very long time. But just so much is coming up and coming up and coming up. And just a lot emerging. And it was interesting because I had trouble with discernment of the two. And Susie told me just a few days ago, ego will always be boisterous, and higher power and higher self, they will always be very gentle and calm when they speak to you.
Hmm.
Because I was about to adventure drive and actually was quite excited to do it. And I got to the hill and I'm about to go over the hill. And all of a sudden I hear don't go over the hill. Don't you dare go over the hill. And I was like, is this high? I asked it. I said, as I was driving, going up the hill, ready to go down it, I'm driving up and I go, as I'm going up, I go, well, is this higher power? Or is this ego? And it says, I told you this was higher power. And Susie told me, higher power will never reply like that.
Exactly. I'm glad she said that because it's true. You know, that's the fear ego. That's the fearing. Don't go over the hill. Don't go over the hill. Yeah. So when you hear that, you go, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, but I'm going over the hill.
I
Uh,
like the way you said it. Thank you, but I'm still going over the hill.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You give it a bit of an attitude, put it in its place.
Yeah. You've got to, it's because what it's doing, it's just trying to keep you safe, but it's actually
Mhm.
keeping you stuck. And that's
Well, it's
the
not only
truth.
keeping me stuck, it's keeping me regressed because you saw in my email in one of the directions, I have regressed at least 3 miles and probably have regressed in other directions too, I would imagine as well.
Well, you
And now
you
it's
see it
trying to
as
tell me,
regression.
oh, there's snow. Pardon?
You see, I think you're seeing it as regression, but it's not. It's you're on the verge of breakthrough. So this
Well, see, I
is
see it as regression because I used to be able to comfortably drive a lot farther. Now I'm like, why can't I even drive up to Bowen Street? I used to drive all the way down Maple and then I would go start going up Bowen. And now it's like I can't even get halfway down, well, from the top of the hill. I can't even because Maple Road is very long, but I can't even now get I can get down the hill on Maple, but I will turn around at the first street,
hmm,
which is just it's major regression. I mean, like I mentioned before, I was going miles ahead, and truthfully, I would have thought I would have been several miles even more so now.
yeah, yeah.
But you said it's not regression,
I
it's
don't feel
what?
like it is. I don't because really the distance that you're traveling anyway, irrespective if you went to Bowen Street or not, still not very far. So it doesn't matter whether it's a few miles because that's not what you're trying to overcome. It's like
True.
you're trying to fry a much bigger fish, aren't you?
True.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah,
really, the
definitely.
distance has got nothing to do with it. Distance has got nothing to do with it. It's really more to do with you getting
Hmm.
into the right mindset when you're behind the wheel, so that you can kind of just each and every single moment of that journey, you're just listening to the voice of the higher self rather than the fear-based mind that's trying to keep you, sort of turning around and going home.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned that because it sort of incorporates what Susie told me a few days ago. It is about changing your mindset overall.
Hmm.
So what I'm doing with you is I'm not doing a repetitive class, a repetitive appointment like I did with her. My questions that I have for you that I want to work on are different than what I've done with her. It's sort of it's a mixture of new questions but also extending. It seems like we work on, you can tell there's obviously repetitive people we discuss, but it's sort of like we're just getting rid of layers
Yeah.
and going deeper and deeper.
That's right. Yeah. And it's got to be done that way. You can't, I
True.
mean, healing
Yes.
is layers and it's got to be done
Mm.
subtly. So you might feel like a lot of it's repetition, but each time you do something, it's like taking off another layer of wrapping paper and past the parcel. And eventually,
Hmm.
you're going to get to the juicy nugget in the middle of whatever it is. So, but you've got to do the layers before you get to the middle. It's just the
True.
way it
Yeah,
is.
very true.
So, okay, so what we're going to do then today is based around the things that you wanted to cover off today. The theme really is about releasing limiting patterns and aligning with joy. So we're still kind of, on that whole pursuit because, of course, that's where you know that you're going to move forward. So it's to support you in releasing the emotional blocks, self-doubt, and external dependency whilst cultivating self-trust, empowerment, and joy. So this is what it's all about.
That is brilliantly written, I have to tell you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the truth. It's what we've been working on for ages now. And actually,
Yeah.
we always want to incorporate. who you are at the core of all of this. And of course, the words I'm using are aligned with your life path 3, your day number 5, which is really about creative expression and joy and finding freedom through
Mhm.
play, optimism, and self expression. And your day 5, which is about adaptability and learning through experience. And this encourages freedom, personal freedom, and curiosity. So, but also because of your practical Capricorn elements as well, which need to be practical, disciplined, and determined. So you're naturally resilient and capable of long-term planning. Your healing lies in balancing responsibility with emotional awareness.
Mhm.
And then your ascendant in Leo, of course, it radiates warmth and charisma. You know that you're a natural leader who inspires others, and you need to honor your individuality and shine without fear of judgment. Okay, so that's key for the Leo ascendants. You don't want to feel
Mhm.
judged by anyone or anything. So, again, just reminding you of your human design generator, energy builder. You've got to wait to respond, wait for your emotional clarity before acting. You trust your emotional solar plexus authority, and that will come over time through emotional waves. So you're actually not even listening to the mind, you're listening to the gut, not the mind. And also, the 5-1 profile, which is the problem solver, the guide, and the investigator. So, and then your left angle cross of transformation catalyzes transformation and challenges illusions. So, what we're doing is we're breaking through the illusions of the realm of the mind, the realm of perception, because it's really the mind that is creating the illusion for you. In
Yes, and illusion is a really great term to use because I'll give you an example. Let's say I asked my mom if she wants to go to Orchard Park to the shopping plaza. This doesn't happen very often. It's once in a great while, but my mom will say, "All right," and I'll drive. As I'm driving there, it doesn't matter which direction we take. I always feel like, dang, it's a really long way to get to the shopping plaza in Orchard Park. And beforehand, I used to go there. Manny and I would go there at night, which, trust me, driving to and from at night is a totally different feeling. I'm sure you know that as well. We'd be there at 9, 9:30, 10, 11 p.m. at night to do the shopping and do all stuff. And I would have this mindset years ago of it's not that far at all. It's not that far at all. I remember one time he asked me if I wanted to go downtown and we ended up instead going to see a movie at the shopping plaza in Orchard Park. Um, and it's probably maybe like 22, 23 minutes away because I told him, well, first of all, I really did not want to dang on drive all the way downtown that day. I just didn't feel like it. I didn't have a phobia at the time, currently then, but I told him I just was too sleepy, too darn, worn out of the day to do it. And I told him, look over the horizon, and there was all this thunder and lightning and everything in the direction of downtown Buffalo. He says, oh, never mind. And in my head, I thought to myself, oh, good, I'm glad, because he's the most stubborn person on the planet. I go, at least I only had to drive to here. This isn't too bad. So do you see how my mind drastically changed? Because that to me was, oh, 23 minutes down the road.
Mhm.
That's not too bad whatsoever. Changed to even driving with my mom and my mom in the car of, man, it's a lot farther than I thought. So yeah, we need to change that
The mindset, yeah, it's the
the
mindset because it's
mindset.
almost like it's maybe been on a bit of repetitive thought processes that's consolidated those as belief systems for you now, because you've had the OCD has almost generated a new belief system.
Well, I have a question for you, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before. It would be quite challenging to get my mom to agree to go all the time, especially with my dad having numerous doctor appointments now. But I wonder if I were able to get my mom to go more often, because you're not going to get me to go 23 minutes away in the car like now, but maybe after some time my brain would start to think this isn't far
Hmm.
because of the fact that um I'm doing it a lot more often, which then would make my other goal of even getting to the village whether it's the village of Lancaster or whatever, would feel really short because I haven't even gotten to the village of Lancaster,
Mhm.
and that's only about 10 minutes away.
Mhm.
So if I were repetitively to go to the shopping plaza in Orchard Park, it would probably, after some time, if I did it consistently with my mom, I'm wondering if you're agreeing to this, will probably make like Lancaster look like a breeze in
Yeah, I
comparison.
mean that's a great idea. It's absolutely a great idea, and these are the sort of inspirations I think you need to act on because it will help to shift the mindset. So
Mhm.
mindset and negativity, these are themes that I want to explore with you. So I'm going to ask you some questions now. Okay. This is all based
Okay.
around everything that you sort of submitted through, just to get you
All
sort of
right.
opening up and thinking in slightly different ways. So with your mindset and
Okay.
negativity, I just want to ask you, how can you shift your focus from worry to curiosity or creative problem solving?
How can I shift my focus from worry to creativity or creative
Curiosity.
problem
Yeah.
or curiosity or creative problem
Yeah.
solving? Well, what I need to do is get out of the what if mentality. So, and create a more curious mind. I call it adventure driving. So maybe instead of having my mind think, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this occurs? Instead, my mind will be curious of, oh, I wonder what I will see. I wonder who I will meet. I wonder who I might make a new friend or who I'll talk to. Or I like I wonder and fill in the blank.
Love it. Brilliant. So moving out of what if and more into I wonder. Anything else?
Mhm. Let's see, creativity wise. Well, this is one thing I notice is that I if I do get some anxiety, um, I sometimes forget my tools that I have, which I have recently been a lot better about. Um, Different techniques that I use. So it's not really replying to your question, but it is in a matter of I can remember to bring things that I need, maybe some sound healing instruments
Yeah.
or uh remembering my EFT tapping or just whatever. Um
So to remember your tools, that you've
Remembering
got
to
all these tools when you're at points of crisis.
Yes, yes. But my goal is to not even get to those points.
Yeah.
To have a curious mind of always looking at things joyfully. I want my mind to become so that it's always joyful, so that no matter where I am, I'm looking for the joy in everything that's around me,
Good.
in all that encompasses
Yeah, very
around me.
good. Okay, very good. So you'll never get to the point of crisis because you're living in a state of bliss, in a state of joy, so that when you find yourself, is slipping out of that high frequency, you can remember your tools, and then that is
Yes.
going to help you with your mindset, which is really good.
Yes.
So moving out of what if and into I wonder who I'll meet, I wonder what will be there, so really starting to
I wonder what
open
I'll
up.
see, what I'll smell, what I'll hear, I wonder.
Great.
And
That's
maybe even I wonder if I'll run into somebody I know.
Mhm.
Sometimes,
Absolutely. I wonder if I'll, run into somebody that I know. So then what external influences should you avoid this week? What external influences should you avoid?
what external influences should I avoid? Well, it goes back to our last session, which I watched a chunk of earlier today and watched a little bit more tonight. Watched most of it in the morning or whenever, um, or afternoon. Anyway, it doesn't matter when. Um, Not to people please. That's one thing. Because it's sort of like, my dad, are you gonna get a job? You're gonna get a job. You're gonna get a job. And it's like my friend Courtney told me, she goes, you're taking a very, very demanding course now, and I have a 4.0. And so I have my parents, I have Manny, all kind of on breathing down my neck of you need a job, you need money. I agree I need a job and I need money, but they act like I log into my course, I take a cute little course, oh happy dainty little course, and I do it and log off and oh that's good, that's the an hour for the day. No, it's a medical course. I have a 4.0. It is incredible, majorly demanding. And to ask me, and the other thing too is like we talked about people pleasing in my last session. I was at 2 days ago, I was at TJ Maxx, which is practically across the street with my mom, and we're in a very long queue. It's the holiday season. People are already Christmas shopping. And I told my mom, oh, I think I'll apply here for part-time. I don't mind applying there for part-time. But I told my mom my hours are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and I'm only working part-time, just short hours every day. So if I do have a job, it's very close by.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to be working these long 8-hour shifts because my schooling will definitely come first. And I'm out the door by 6 p.m. because I refuse to close. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to be there at 9:30 at night, sleepy and wanting to be home in my pajamas or watching television, what have you. Instant reply from my mom. No, you have to have full availability. When I was in university, I worked two jobs and one of them didn't start till late evening. I said, Mom, how old were you? Oh, I was about 18 years old. I said, Mom, I'm 40. I'm not a young girl anymore. I told my mom, you had the energy because you were very young. I told my mom I did that back in the beginning of 2024. I worked at a restaurant here in town, and there were some days we got out at midnight, and I
Mm.
had to put toothpicks in my eyes to stay awake.
Mm.
It was dreadful.
Yeah, so the external influences that you should avoid this week, if you feel like you've got people breathing down your neck trying to get
hmm
you to get a job, then is that what you're getting at then? Are you saying that you should avoid the people that are breathing down your neck trying to get you to do things you don't want to do?
Well, I think I should avoid them when they're nagging me.
Yeah.
But I also, quite honestly, I also need to, as I mentioned in the email to you earlier tonight, or earlier this morning on your time. Um, as I mentioned earlier tonight, what did I mention tonight? Oh yeah, I need to just stop being over at my parents so much. I got into this really bad habit of going there every day. And it's funny, I even told my mom, I'm like, I don't even want to be here today. But oh yeah, I told my mom, I'm like, I didn't even plan to be here today. I don't even want to be here today. But practically all of the shops are closed except for like TJ Maxx and PetSmart. And I'm like, I was like, I'm not going to go over there because they're doing so much road work that I'm like, I would have had to drive all the way around town practically in practically one big circle to get over there.
Yeah.
My town closes like all the small shops on Mondays.
So what does trigger you when you're at home or with Manny then? What is it specifically? Is it because the fact that you feel like they have expectations on you to be more responsible? Is that
Well, yeah, precisely. And that's all of them, which I kind of find hilarious from Manny because when he lived here, he refused to get a job. Now he's up my backside about how important it is to work. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
so it
So,
triggers, is it the hypocrisy that triggers you?
well, it is a bit of the hypocrisy that does trigger me. But he kept saying, I refuse to get a job. And I like, I'm not even going to get into it. It doesn't even really matter anymore. What truly matters is people have to stop putting their you should do this and you should do this and you should do this. It's like Manny's coming for the weekend as I emailed you, and he told me you should really come to downtown Buffalo with us this weekend. And he writes at the end, he goes, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you so you can have a normal life. I understand his perspective, and I truly believe that in his mind, that's what he's doing. But as I told you before, he's also the type to tell me, you're a 40-year-old adult. You can take this, taxi or Uber back home as my mates and I go all out to a gay bar. And he'll spring something like that. And he'll tell me, oh, yeah, well, he told me, oh, we'll be home by this time. You know, no. I know him too well.
Yeah.
I just know him too well. And Saturday he goes, you should really come with us so you can explore. And he goes, I don't see the problem. You're going to be with all of us. Well, the problem is because you told me for Saturday there is no schedule.
Yeah.
That you just want to go willy-nilly all over and come home whenever. And as I told you, they want me to do this. This is my parents and Manny. They want me to do this. They want me to do that. They want me to do this, etc. But they won't do what I need them to do. And we discussed in a prior set appointment about free will. But I tell him, Manny, we would have been over this years ago if you went on my itinerary in my schedule. We go to Lancaster, it's out of my comfort zone. We go to see a play, we do some shopping, we go to dinner, we come back home at a reasonable time, like 6 or 7 p.m., not 11 o'clock at night, and we don't go a million places, and we stay in one town, and we don't do a million different things. Two things is enough. Maybe three would be including little shops. But you get my point.
Yeah, of course.
And
So would you
and
say
he
then
ch
that is an external influence that you need to avoid this week?
it is, I have to avoid it, but at the same time, I told him that he is invited to come over for this weekend.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
said they can come here. I don't mind it. Um, but I don't want him throwing tantrums. He's saying I'm not going to go downtown. It comes back to, as I told you a plethora of times before, it comes back to trust.
Hmm.
And I mean, I know they'll come back. I know they'll get here, but it's when is the question. And I kind of also feel that he told me, "Oh, I'm doing this for your benefit." I'm like, I don't truly feel that's the case because of the fact that he changed, as we mentioned previously, he changed the game rules on me. First it used to be any town outside of East Aurora. Now suddenly it's only downtown Buffalo. And when I confronted him about this, he goes, I didn't change any rules. So yes, it's a long-winded answer, but it's avoiding those,
Situations that make you feel
yeah,
fearful. So how can you then respond from emotional clarity instead of fear?
responding to my parents and Manny, and even to my own self
Yeah,
too. And sometimes even to my own self is the most important.
of course it is. Of course it is. So how can you
Um,
respond from emotional clarity instead of fear?
how can I understand the question. I'm just going through my brain. Well, the first thing I would have to do is get higher power and higher self to answer and make sure that ego is not part of the discussion. Ego may listen, but ego may not participate.
Good.
Um, think of it like a courtroom with higher power or God being the judge, higher self being the barrister, and the ego is a jury member
Hmm.
or just somebody sitting in the audience if you
Oh, the
watch Judge
criminal.
Judy or any of those shows. Well, I don't want to be that mean to ego, but but yes. Um, Yes, true. But no, and I won't be. I'll call ego a jury member, but yeah, the jury.
What about the person who's innocent until proven guilty?
Uh, innocent. I'm not quite sure who that would be, but oh yeah, it could be. It could be too. Yes, yes, the
It could be.
defendant.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Um,
So we're asking how can you respond with emotional clarity instead of fear? So you said that it's about
Well, it's just
reconnecting
using discernment.
discernment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about using discernment. Um, yeah, basically that's my reply to you.
Okay.
Higher power, higher self, and using those tools to use discernment.
Very good.
Um,
Okay. So then, okay. So what would it feel like to trust your inner guidance completely?
uh, it's interesting because something just replied to your question, and I don't know where it came from of, can I do that? That's how it replied.
Okay. So what do you think that can I do that was?
Ego.
Hmm.
Just the way it replied. What? Can I?
That's right. So that's the
Yes.
It is. So, okay. So what would it feel like to trust your inner guidance completely?
What would it feel like to trust my inner guidance completely? Well, it would feel amazing, except for I have to get the what if statements out of the way. And it was interesting because I sort of did a connection with God, if you will, there, and told me your inner guidance is very much blocked by your what if statements because they've been ingrained in there for years. So it's a matter of removing those. It also mentioned, or I'm mentioning now, it's also a matter of removing when Manny is trying to be helpful, and I admit he is trying to be helpful, he'll sometimes tell me stuff that I go, dude, you do not have a background in wellness care or mental health. You don't, you know what he would tell me? He goes, come downtown with us. You're going to have major anxiety, I guarantee it, but you'll have a great time nevertheless. Like, no, you don't tell people that. You don't email people or write people, go, you will have major anxiety downtown, but you'll have fun too. You don't, I go, I know you're trying to be helpful, but that is like the worst sentence to put together. Like, I love you, but that's the really, really tragic sentence, ghastly sentence to put together.
Yeah, exactly. Because
So
it doesn't really excite you about going.
it's just sort of like, I'll have fun, but what? It's like, you we're going to go on a great train holiday together and go through Canada. You're going to have a wonderful time, but the train is going to crash when you go through the Canadian Rockies, but it's going to be lovely too. It's like
Exactly.
reading that. Like,
It's like, yeah, you're just expecting there to be some sort of disaster.
yeah, and I'm just like, I know you're trying to be helpful, but
Okay, so
it,
what ifs and anxiety then? So,
we need
like,
to remove that what if anxiety to
yeah,
get to.
good. So removing the what ifs, yeah, to get to that. So how can you use planning without overthinking or obsessing? How can you use planning without overthinking or obsessing?
I honestly feel like, how can I use planning? How can I use planning to stop obsessing or overthinking?
Without overthinking or obsessing.
Oh, well, I always do like to have a really set itinerary. The problem is certain other people like don't live by it whatsoever. Um, I'm not quite sure. Does it seem a bit strange to you, peculiar, but I kind of feel like I need to pick a bottle connected to this question?
Yeah. Okay. So remember what the question is?
One more time, sorry.
So the question is, how can I use planning without overthinking or obsessing?
How can I use planning without overthinking or obsessing? 3 and 45.
Okay. So number three, Jupiter, and number
Yes, and
40
45.
and 45. Okay. Mhm. Right. I'll get bottle number 45.
Okay. You have to switch it back because I have your there we are.
Okay. So bottle 45 is C9, which is the
Okay.
evolved base chakra. So it's when you've lost your survival issues, so it's when you've overcome all that dense reds of safety, security, survival stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is called the light body. And it's all about making a decision.
Well, it's interesting I picked that bottle because it sounds to me like I've had some progress then.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what this is all about is a clearing of the survival issues. So,
Mhm.
if we're looking at this in regards to the question, how can I use planning without overthinking or obsessing? It's basically saying the way you can do that is by just making a decision. That's what it's saying. Because when you make a decision, the stress goes away. It's only when you don't make a decision about something that the stress is there in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And I intuitively just know that the answer is no to going downtown,
Well,
especially for Saturday.
it is. I mean, we're doing this session on the 11:11, and it's close to 11 o'clock here in Perth. And the 11 is the portal of choice, the gateway.
Yeah,
So you've got the choice. This is what it's all about on this
yeah,
day. It's about choices, whether you say yes or you say no.
yeah,
And it's about making a decision.
yeah. But I want to look at the choices overall, and this whole weekend thing is a small glimpse. I truly wish that I could choose yes for this weekend, but it's the factors. The nothing set in schedule, going all over the place, not sure when you get home, things changing last minute. But when it comes to choice in 11:11, almost 11 a.m. in Perth, I want to look at choice overall and what I want to choose for myself and decide for myself is a life of more joy and more saying yes to going to events.
Yeah. It's about expansion. Jupiter.
Yes. And I want to expand and go to more places myself with friends, with Manny. It doesn't always have to be with him, but sometimes yes. And I want to choose yes and choose and decide to expand and decide to do events. But simultaneously, he refuses to listen. Completely need it on my itinerary. But I always get the
Okay.
reply, you
So
can go home by yourself.
let's look at relationships and boundaries then. Does Manny's energy uplift you or drain you?
Manny's, oh, it does both, depending on Manny's mood. And I will be I will be the most honest I've ever been with you, which I always am, but now really big time. Manny does not believe me when I tell him the people that he hangs around with drastically change his energy. And I tell him, for example, this last guy that Robert, who stole our stuff, um, I told Manny, when you started hanging around with him, your aura changed, your energy changed, your facial expressions changed. And I got You don't know what you're talking about. You waste your money on Hayden. You waste your money on Susie. I've always been the same. I've never liked East Aurora. I've always hated it. I'm bored out of my mind. All this, it was not like that before he came in. Before he came in, it was, let's go to this play. Let's go explore. Do you want to go across the plaza tonight? All right, sure. I'll go the other side of town with you. Let's go see the Christmas decorations. Oh, they were very friendly. Sure, we can go jog in Knox Park. We can go to a play tonight, because we have professional theater here. You get my point. And it was happy, or it was like, hey, what movie do you want to watch tonight? It was only a little bit, the only things he would nag me on was my lack of cleaning skills, which have improved, but were atrociously bad, and his whole, I don't like how this tastes. Well, then go put some mustard on it, okay? But it was the energy. So, yeah, he used to be very uplifting, happy. Then he met this person, and and it wasn't only him. He's only one example. There was other guys as well, especially the people that he was smoking with, which thank God he doesn't do that anymore. But um but yes, uh then he would spiral. That's the word to use
Yeah,
it. So it was like, I'm sorry, it's I think you get the point.
I do.
Like
Yeah.
there's
So
literally
what you're saying is
two
money's
versions of him.
energy can both uplift you when he's not around said external influences, but it can also drain you big time as well.
Yeah.
So where
Well,
can you say, sorry,
no, I guarantee you, and this is so interesting you asked me this because I was thinking about this earlier today, and I told myself, I bet if he never got into meeting these people, or we can't go back in time, it's going back in time, it's not going to keep us in joy, it's just going to stress us. We don't need to do that. If he were to come here again and he were to spend time with me here without having his new roommate be here, who's a lovely gentleman, but just being here by himself, and he were to spend a week and a half here, 2 weeks, say maybe 2 weeks here, and instead of pissing and moaning, I'm not going to do anything, and actually had a mindset to go out and do things with me around East Aurora, Elma, I guarantee his mind would change. If he spent 2 weeks with me, 2 weeks with me here, a fortnight, and went to the shopping plazas across the street, went to see a play, went out to dinner at one or two places in town with me, went to go to the park
so
and go
just an
for a jog.
observation through what I'm hearing is that you have, sort of a whole set of things that you feel Manny would enjoy doing, and he has a whole set of things that he feels you would enjoy doing, but both of
Yes.
you are wrong because the things that he's suggesting you're not interested in, and the things that you're suggesting he's not interested in.
Well, you would think that. However, what he is suggesting I am interested in, it's just an issue of two things. Of one, we've jumped from going to towns around East Aurora, like Lancaster, to suddenly going all the way downtown. And him changing the game plan of anywhere outside of East Aurora to suddenly it can only, crossing my arms here, it can only be downtown, damn it. So I do enjoy, but I do, however, like his ideas of things to do. I think they sound enjoyable. As for my ideas, he's always been, I hate him, I don't care. The reason I'm calling his bluff is because previously he enjoyed doing all of those things with me. He had a great aura and energy about him. He had a great smile. Um, and it didn't change until he met this other guy,
Okay.
that then really negativity started really, really seeping in. And I told him too, if we did things together around here, it makes me feel more joyful and comfortable to then start expanding. But
But you're saying he's not interested in doing that.
precisely,
Yeah. Okay. So where can you say no lovingly to protect your emotional space?
Well, I mean, I don't even want to always discuss him. Sometimes you can say no by your actions. My mom 2 nights ago, well, 3 nights for you, um, she was intoxicated because I mentioned my mom has a drinking problem. And she's eating her dinner. She's got her fork in her mouth. Then she goes to touch my food with her fork and is forking my meal, which I got quite pissed off about. And of course, my parents give the biggest fucking egos ever. And they're like, "You're overreacting. This is nothing." Mom goes, "Babe, can I touch your food?" And I turned around as I'm getting ready to leave. And my mom, and I go, "Of course, you're married, you know." And I just chose to get up and leave to reply to your question.
Hmm. Okay,
So sometimes
so
it's just removing yourself from a scenario, from a toxic.
yeah, so removing yourself from any
Right.
toxic scenarios,
Yeah.
anything that feels like it's crossing your boundaries, yeah?
Yes.
So wherever you feel like people are invading your space, crossing boundaries, not honoring your values, that's when you need to say no.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So then self-empowerment and joy then. So what actions will bring you genuine joy this week?
Staying in a state of joy.
Yeah, but what actions will bring you
Well, to
that?
me, that is an action because it can be really challenging for me to stay in a state of joy. I have to do, oh, I see your question now. I have to well, the actions can even be very, very subtle of um, rethinking how I think.
Okay. So rethinking the way you think.
Hmm.
Anything else?
Doing fun stuff, but I already knew that, like dancing, for example, and singing and painting. I mean, that I already am well aware of.
Are you doing it?
Um, Singing, yes. I was dancing a little bit several days ago, but yeah, I mean, I need to do it again. I've been telling myself for several days now I want to paint. So I really, really have to. It's just so really, really irksome trying to get over there because of all the road work. But yeah, I could paint again. I really would. Oh, you know what? No. I know what I can use to paint. I could even paint tonight. I just realized I have to go down to my cellar, but I have the backs of paintings that I could use the backs of. Um But I mean, overall, I just really want to stay in a state of joy so that I'm able to physically expand past my comfort zone.
Of course, but you see, that often means taking action. So yeah, you can um
Can I
uh,
look at bottles to choose one that would help me take action?
um yeah, we can try that, can't we? Let's have a look.
Think so. And I'm still trying to figure out like more of my numerology to have it help me in the present time.
Hmm. Well, you see, your numerology is about creativity, and the freedom of expression. So you're on the right lines when you're talking about painting and expressing yourself freely through music and painting. It's absolutely in alignment with your numerology.
And I think I just hit on something that I hadn't ever thought of before. I said currently, the present time. And this is how I, unfortunately, for several years now, or a few years now, I've been living of thinking of the future, thinking of the future, thinking of the future, so I can be cured in the future, I can be cured in the future, I can be cured in the future. And I think I just now just sort of had like an ah moment of instead of doing that, focusing on the present currently
Good.
to then try to change the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's about what you can change right now. So what is it? What is the bottle that represents
Uh,
the action you can take to stay in joy? What's the action
oh,
that
sorry.
you
Go back up 1 second. Sorry, I had to have water. Okay, ask it one more time. Sorry, I got quite thirsty.
So what actions will bring you genuine joy this week? What actions will bring you genuine joy this week?
Hmm. All right. Go back. Let me just double check. I believe it's battle 21. Could you show me that one again? Okay. So the answer is battle 21, but I thought you might want to know I got major resistance from battle 14.
Okay. So so you've chosen your numerology. You know, you're 21. Ball 21 is the key, and that reduces to a 3, which is your life path number. And then the 5,
Yes,
which is your day number, is the one you had resistance to. So you had resistance to writing, movement, and sort of like the 14 is about writing, publishing, authoring. It's about um, creativity in to some extent. The turquoise ray can connect up with creativity, freedom of expression, whereas the 3 is about moving from your ego into a state of authentic power. So it's about taking responsibility that you're creating your own reality. So the actions that you need to take is for you to finally take responsibility that you are creating the reality that you're experiencing. And it's
that's true.
moving from ego to authentic power.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got resistance to, sort of movement around the creative aspects of self.
Yeah. You can switch it back if you want
Okay.
to you.
Yeah. So there is some resistance around the creativity.
Interesting. Do you mind getting bottle 21?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So this is 21, the key. So it's traditional at the age of 21, you get the keys to the door of your own life where you finally got to take responsibility that you're creating the reality that that you're experiencing.
Mhm.
So this is about you taking responsibility for
So I
expansion
guess the next
because
question
it
is
carries the
how?
vibration of the 3, which is Jupiter. You've got to
Hmm.
take responsibility for your own expansion and move out of ego into
Hmm.
authentic power.
It's interesting that I basically picked 3 and 3 for both questions.
Yeah. And the resistance was, to the freedom.
Hmm.
The resistance was to the freedom.
Yes.
So again, that says to me that there's a battle between the head and the heart because the
Oh,
five is the heart.
extremely. Oh, very majorly. Yes, definitely, 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 yes.
So how can you
Um,
reclaim then your energy and honor your creative freedom? How can you reclaim your energy and honor your creative freedom?
think through your heart chakra.
Hmm.
Don't ever think through your mind.
Hmm.
And that's where
Absolutely.
higher power or God rests or resides.
Yeah.
That's where it lives. And your higher self and your wisdom, all of it.
Yeah. That's right. So, okay. So I'm going to just do a quick emotional release for you now, just to finish off the session. So close your
All right.
eyes and I
Hmm.
just want you to just visualize a beautiful violet flame all around your body, calling upon the energy of the ascended Master Saint Germain, Merlin the Magician, and the violet flame burning brightly all around your body, transmuting fear, resentment, or anxiety. And now moving the light through your solar plexus, dissolving the self doubt. Just feeling that beautiful violet light moving through the yellow, which is the opposite color of the violet, and it's removing and dissolving all of that self doubt all the way through your solar plexus. And then I want you to just place your hands, one on your heart, one on your solar plexus. And I want you to breathe golden orange energy. Breathe in golden orange energy and breathing out into your heart and into your solar plexus. And just affirm to yourself, I trust my emotions.
I trust my emotions.
I respond from clarity and joy.
I respond from clarity and joy.
And now I want you to just to visualize the guidance from the healer archetype that you chose. Just visualizing the guidance from the healer. And what does your oversoul have for you now?
Telling me to put myself first. Telling me to find joy and stop overexerting myself to others, to do things for myself. Telling me I really, really badly need to go on a holiday. Doing things to just nurture myself, eating healthy, dancing, getting plenty of sleep. That's pretty much everything.
So, where in your life can you channel the energy of the healer?
Healing myself first before I try to heal or help others.
And which areas of your mind, your heart, or your body are ready to be restored or aligned?
Can you ask one more time? Sorry.
Which areas of your mind, heart, or body are ready to be restored or aligned? Just trusting the message from your oversoul, the healer.
Oh, all, like everything, just all, the whole, the mind, the body.
And what patterns?
It's just prepared for complete wholeness.
Okay, good. And so, what patterns are you ready to release that no longer serve your highest purpose?
OCD patterns. Do you mind asking one more time? Sorry.
What patterns are you ready to release that no longer serve your higher purpose? Just listening to the voice of the healer.
As I previously mentioned, the OCD. So the OCD is one. Another one is getting angry at people's behavior, whether that's how my mom behaves when she's intoxicated, whether that's my dad complaining. Like I mentioned, I can only do so much. Uh, Whether that's a bad driver, um, so just releasing, having a a reaction to everything, to all. It's not necessary quite often.
Okay, good. And then just imagining now a stream of bright, sparkling light flowing through into your throat, your heart, and your solar plexus. And just let it carry inspiration, joy, and freedom to express your unique gifts. Just feel this energy expanding outwards into your aura and beyond. And imagine your creativity as a beacon of light, joy, and empowerment. And then just affirming to yourself, I am free to create, express, and live joyfully.
I am free to create, express, and live joyfully.
My energy serves the highest good.
My energy serves the highest good.
I am aligned with my creative purpose
I am aligned with my creative purpose
and divine expression.
and divine expression.
And now, how can you express your creativity in ways that honor your joy and authenticity?
Dancing was the first word that came to mind.
Movement. Good.
Yes. And that's
And
interesting that it shows movement because this is what we've been doing for incredible, like we've been doing for what, a few years now. Um, it's about movement. It's all about movement. The freedom is tied to being able to move to wherever I want. So it's quite interesting. It shows dancing first.
and where are you holding back your natural self-expression and why?
The why is from people pleasing. The where, I got a reply of authentically being myself, but I don't know if that came from me. I kind of feel like that came from Manny's energy of not authentically being myself. But I've also felt by my own energy and my own self that I haven't always authentically been myself, although I will tell you I've greatly improved in that over the past few years.
Okay, good.
Um,
So then just bringing to your mind now any reoccurring negative thought patterns, fears, or old emotional habits. Just bring them to mind and then visualize them as a dark cloud or a chain within you.
I see a dark cloud.
And now call forth your oversoul, the healer, and the violet flame. And then just see this energy dissolving the cloud, melting away the chains, and replacing them with light, clarity, and harmony. And just affirming, I release old patterns.
I release old patterns.
I am free.
I am free.
I step fully into my power and joy.
I step fully into my power and joy.
So, which relationships or circumstances are you ready to release energetic attachment to?
My old coworker Rose, I didn't want to be friends with her again. I hadn't talked to her in like over a year, and she found me in the car park on Halloween the other day, and I gave her my new number. It was a bit awkward. I want to release that tie. Um, she's got a lot of problems, drinking, she's schizophrenia. I just don't want to get all wrapped up in all of that, you know. I think you can understand. I want to release that. I barely talk to her, but she'll text me, you know. Um, uh, I didn't forget the question, but sometimes it helps if you ask it repetitively. So do you mind asking
Which
it one more time?
relationships or circumstances are you ready to release energetic attachments to?
Oh, well, circumstances, definitely anything to do with Manny smoking or Manny complaining or Manny having bad energy after he's hung out with external negative people. I want to completely release. my my mom's brattiness when she's intoxicated and acting, you know, and my dad having a big ego and making excuses for it. Um, and yes, those are some of the things that I want to release.
Okay, good. And what
Circumstances. Yeah.
fears or what ifs are holding you back, and how can you consciously let them go?
What fears and what ifs are consciously holding me back, and how can I let them go?
Yeah.
The fear that if I go well out of my comfort zone, that I will get just really, really ill.
So you're ready to
Um,
let that go?
oh my goodness, yes.
Anything else?
Um, ask it again, please. Sorry.
What fears or what ifs are holding you back, and how can you consciously let them go?
See, it all ties to the what ifs are the same and the fears. Oh, it all returns to what if something really dreadful occurs? And I'm ready to release that because I want a state of joy. I want to think joyfully. I want to go from what if this horrible occurrence occurs to I wonder what I'll see. I'll wonder who I'll meet. I wonder what we'll do. So I
Okay,
want,
good.
yeah, that's what I want to remove. And I want the I wonder, a joyful I wonder, to replace it.
Okay, good. And then just slowly bringing your awareness back to your physical body now, wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes and feeling the earth beneath you. Just imagine roots extending deep into the planet, anchoring you and integrating all of the energies we've worked with. And take a nice deep breath in, inhaling clarity and exhaling tension, and then breathing out. And then just affirming, I am grounded, empowered, and aligned with my highest good.
I am grounded, empowered, and aligned with my highest good.
I am a vessel of healing light and divine expression.
I am divine healing and expression and light.
Okay, good. And then just opening your eyes. Okay, so then what is one small action that you can take within the next 24 hours to honor this healing and alignment?
I'm going to ask you to ask it again, but I have to tell you, as I was opening my eyes, my own mind thought of an affirmation or mantra. It told me, I can do anything I put my mind to if I always think joyfully.
Hmm, very good. There you
I think
go.
I'll put that on my fridge along with the other ones you've been emailing me too.
Yeah,
And I do still read the one about financial abundance, and I've been reading that one aloud more lately.
well done. Yeah, 100%. With your abundance one, just keep that going because it will shift things very quickly. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And the other thing with the financial abundance is don't focus on the small stuff. That's the only other thing I want to say to you, because when you focus
Okay.
on the small stuff, you caught in the small stuff.
Oh, so how would I focus on the big stuff when it comes to financial abundance?
Just by imagining your life as you want it to be, completely as you want it to be.
Oh, okay. Okay. Awesome. You did have a question for me after I opened my eyes. What was it again? Sorry?
So, what one small action can you take in the next 24 hours to honor this healing and alignment?
Go down the frickin' hill and go past the first street at the bottom of the hill. Now, yes, I've gone 3 miles ahead before, but at least in the next 24 hours, do do that. Another thing I could do, I mean, ¿por qué no los dos, right? Why not both? But I could also um decide not to go to my parents on Wednesday because it's become a bad habit. Like I told you, I even told my mom, I don't even want to be here. I'm just here because the shops are closed and I couldn't get around to the plaza because all the damn road work. Truthfully, I could have just went around the whole town or I could have just stayed home all day. Well, that would have been boring to stay home all day. Now, we can't be 24 hours. I have to see my dad in the morning. We on Tuesdays deliver to the very elderly. They're like in their 90s. We deliver meals to them. I have to show up as a delivery person. Um, but on Wednesday I could do that. Just not go to their home
Well done.
or go down the hill and getting to the first street cheats. I have to go up to the second street.
Well done. That's it. There you go. That's the
Simple.
one small step. So you've answered your own question. So you kind of, had a realignment session, like a soul realignment that's helped
Yeah.
you to
Yeah.
go onto a different timeline. So just honor
Yeah.
these small action steps, and you'll find that now you've, fully committed to that.
Well, I have to tell you something really interesting. And there's other little things I can do as well. Like I watched the news today with my dad and earlier today. And after we finished watching it, I told myself, we don't need to be watching this. I tell this to myself all the time. I won't watch the news. I won't watch the news. And I go ahead and do it. And I thought to myself, my dad is battling Parkinson's. He doesn't really need to learn about blizzards in Chicago and floods in Texas. We're not going to Chicago or Texas anytime soon. But so I just told myself I have to practice what I preach. If I've been saying this for so long, I won't watch the news. Well, start doing it. Watch stand-up comedy. Listen to music. I love watching travel videos. Watch even more travel videos. There's one even called Hayden and Mark's Travel Adventure.
Exactly. Where there's new episodes coming soon.
Yeah, see, I mean, now isn't that a lot more interesting than learning about a flood in Texas?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's a good move. Anything that lowers your frequency is just going to send you spiraling out of, sort of back into old patterns. And for the
And I
next
could
period of
feel
time, it's probably best
right,
not to.
exactly.
I'm gonna,
And I could
I'll
feel that
send
even when
you
my mom's drinking too. That's why sometimes I'm just like, well, it's time for me to wrap things up and leave because it's just another negativity and well, I don't want to end on a negative note, but yes, there's multiple things I can do just to keep the frequency uplifting, as you just mentioned.
exactly. So I'm going to send you an email now. What you can do, just to summarize what we have talked about today, but also about, giving you some ideas on how to keep your vibe high over the next 7 days. Okay, because this is all in your hands. Remember you were in the portal of choice. It's the 11. It's just past 11:11
Yeah.
on the 11th of November. It is your portal of choice. It's about making decisions and sticking to them for expansion for yourself, moving out of
Yeah.
ego and fear and back
Yeah.
into your authentic
And I have
power.
Yes, and I have to tell Ego, it's not about making choices for this weekend. It's about making choices overall for my life. But I have to tell you something interesting just before we say bye-bye to each
Yeah,
other, is before we say goodbye. So I had to tell you, I had to say, oh yes. Um, so we sort of downloaded timelines there, as you just mentioned.
yeah,
When I was looking through the cards, I saw the one for timelines. And something replied to me, you're not ready for that. You're not prepared for that. That'll come at a later appointment. It didn't say never, it said a later appointment. And yet we did it this appointment,
yeah,
which made me realize it was ego replying because ego did not want me to to have more control than it does.
exactly. That's exactly right. Well done. Well done.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you've done it. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done. Okay, I'm going to send you this
Okay.
now.
Well,
I've
thank
put
you.
together a little activation plan for you with some questions that you can reflect on, are based around what we did today. All right. And then
Yes.
just let me know if you've got any questions, all right? And enjoy
All right.
the rest of the week.
I will. It's almost bedtime here. You don't need to rush on it. Just do it whenever you can because I'll be going to bed not too much later, and I am still finishing up listening to the last appointment we had. And truthfully, I have to go way back to the one to some that we've had before and even finish those. So,
Well done. So you've
yeah,
got lots of content there to keep working
I
through and
do. Yes.
revising. We've covered a lot of ground, so
Yeah.
you'll see a lot of shifts, okay?
Yes.
Fabulous.